We got a good one here for you guys today. This is footage that comes from Pokemon Pocket Italia, the Speed Tour number 3. So even though Italia is in the name, there's actually competitors from all over, and so we're actually looking at the perspective, and I can only hope my pronunciation is at least okay, American over here, but Daifuku. And so Daifuku is on the bottom half, so essentially our player's perspective. You know, again, that's who we're spectating from. Registered from Japan on Limitless TCG. Then we have GraphaDW up on the top, and that's registered from Malaysia. And so these are just what I see on Limitless TCG. That's always where you can sign up, but also look at like the deck list or the standings and things like that from these tournaments. Now, of course, I'm sure you guys notice I actually also include the deck lists for each of the players and do a few edits of my own and whatnot, so that's good, of course, to give you guys a little bit of extra and see what's going on. Like, for instance, this Mew EX. I was wondering when we're going to see a little bit more of this card, but also more so the Celebi EX. I know if you're new around this channel, you might be like, wait, see more of it? Didn't we see it? No, I'm just talking about for this channel. You know, this channel has seen a little bit of that Mew EX scattered about just different decks, so that's great. That is sort of what we thought could definitely be Mew's usage, is that it could go really to any types of decks with that genome hacking being all colorless energy. But the Celebi EX, that was one, you know, that I think a lot of people were saying is like broken and whatnot, especially when paired with essentially the most obvious, which is Serperior. And so Serperior, of course, it does have an ability, it's called Jungle Totem, and so the Jungle Totem just basically means that each grass energy that's attached to your grass Pokemon provides 2 grass energy instead of 1. The effect doesn't stack up or anything like that, but it is pretty devastating when you consider that Celebi EX uses that energy to do even more damage. We'll hopefully see that here coming soon, because we do have Snivy up on the bench over there for GraphaDW, and right now, you know, just kind of a lot of setting up, right? You know, we don't have a whole lot going on at the moment. Now, I guess the only other kind of housekeeping I wanted to get to, of course, is that you guys may see here just with the gameplay footage at the very bottom of the screen. I'm trying to do some of my own edits, but that's the streamer. They edited in that like kind of blue that's blocking the hand and stuff. Now it is cutting off, I feel, the bench Pokemon a little bit more than is comfortable, but hey, this is coming from Daifuku's stream of the tourney and stuff, so we'll see. Of course, whoever wins this matchup, though, these it's a best of 3, and this is the final, so they will take the entire tournament. But it looks like finally Mew gonna be able to go ahead and attack for that 20 with the Psy Shot attack, and so now it's up to Grapha to see, are we gonna go ahead and just apply another energy, get Celebi EX going for another round? But yes, it looks like we are gonna see an evolution to Servine. Okay, directly after that is gonna be Celebi EX, double timing it here on the bench now too, and so here we go. This is what we were looking for, right? Is Celebi from Mythical Island. We will explain for those who are new or have never seen Celebi, at least in action right here. What is it that makes it potentially powerful is just that it's 50 damage when you're flipping a coin for each energy that's attached to the Pokemon, and that's why pairing it with Serperior gets quite intense. But the attack will essentially do 50 for each heads. So yes, we've just described the powerful bloom. Of course, you saw that Grapha got the 1 heads off on this Mew, so now left it at 80 HP right here, and you are able to notice that, of course, Kirlia. There we go, we are ready to evolve. Now you do have Mewtwo EX also double timing it on the bench right now, so really we are kind of stacked in a way that Daifuku could end up with some heavy hitters here, because of course if you get to Gardevoir, that's just sort of our old school classics, right? The old meta, and it certainly has had some prevalence today too. I think a lot of people did get their licks in with Golem, or maybe the Arcanine EX, and then who could forget the Gyarados EX decks? But certainly some of the old standbys, especially the Mewtwo EX, it is still in the tourney scene. I've seen some Pikachu EX still going on, of course, but hey, let's see what happens. Of course, Mew EX right now, still just with that 1 energy, so we'll do the Psy Shot. Okay, it does look like they were setting it up on Daifuku's side here, and then ended up not going for it, but yeah, it looks like the time's running out, man, so are you gonna do it? Okay, there you go. So I was getting a little bit worried, but hey, I think even though it looks chaotic, they might have had it under control, just making my heart race a bit. But hey, here we go. So the other thing about I feel it's kind of unfortunate when a streamer will do this, you know, it's like, yeah, we want to avoid the stream sniping, and that's all good, but they really did, I think, overcompensate with covering up the hand, is then they also covered up the energy, so we can't even even see the energy generated right now on the Pokemon. Oh, that is brutal, you guys. Now on GraphaDW's side, 0 damage because all of those were Tails the Fox. Trying that powerful bloom once again would have been 50 damage at least somewhere. All they needed was 2, of course, to try and take down this Mew EX, because look at this. Now it's going to get a little bit more out of control. And so this is where we go back to the Pocket meta being essentially all about the luck. It's all about the gamble of the coin toss. And so now it's a little bit less coin tossy, of course, when you're on the Mewtwo EX side. And the Mew EX here, all backed up by Gardevoir. So Gardevoir being able to use the Psy Shadow. We've covered this a lot on this channel because that was sort of just all we had for a good month and a half or so, right, of tourneys that we've been covering around here. But hey, it looks like that Psy Shadow will be applied to the Mew EX right now. And so Daifuku's deck, you did notice, of course, there is just one Mew EX, and that is okay because you have to think a lot of the times when we were looking at a Mewtwo EX deck, it was built very much like this. Of course, the trainer card's a little bit different, so maybe we'll see an application for the trainer cards that Daifuku has in here, but it was always just kind of that one extra Pokemon. Was it going to be a Jinx? Was it going to be just the basic Mewtwo, the bodyguard Mewtwo, regular? So not the EX version, but no, they kind of, you know, even Kangaskhan has been there, but using Mew EX in that spot seems like it's going to be okay. We'll have to see how Daifuku manages this, of course, going up against the crazy Celebi EX. Now, we say only crazy when you get those coin tosses, am I right? But hey, right now you do have Serperior on the bench, so that means that we're essentially now, we're going to double all that. That's going to be 6 coins to toss right here. You got to hope that at least 2 of those are heads, right? When you're flipping 6. So, I mean, seriously, it can go wrong. But hey, that's nice to see it right off the bat. So yeah, there you go. It's going to be the 2 heads right there are better than none, right? And hey, 2 heads going to be great because that will bring 2 points to GraphaDW right here, since Mew EX is an EX card and EX are worth 2. So right now we're going to be throwing in this awesome full art Mewtwo EX. And hey, look at that, full art Leaf drawn right now. So Leaf great for the retreat, although I'm sure that Daifuku is not looking for that retreat. Yes, they are looking to get this side drive going right now. Take out this Celebi, just get it out of the picture, but there is another Celebi lying in wait, and so that'll immediately, just like that, it's an RKO out of nowhere, because that is going to bring the prize points now to 2 and 2. So Daifuku with 2, GraphaDW with 2. It's all about this last KO. It's all about that last prize point being taken, and that's who's going to win this game 1 right here in Speed Tour 3. And so, of course, Pokeball was played, but this Celebi just needs that 1 energy to start going at it. And of course, right now with that Serperior, we could actually see something that really is game-changing. There we go. Hey, it's going to be Sabrina. And so likely, yes, that would be the choice, is to put in the other Mewtwo EX. Be a little bit, it would be a little bit more devastating if, say, that was kind of the first Pokemon to be eliminated in the game because the 2 prize thing. But right now, you don't really care if it's 2 or 1 prize points that you're losing. Now, it's not going to matter about the HP, right? Because it's all about the same amount of coins. To take out Gardevoir, you would need 3 heads, right? Just like the Mewtwo EX, and we did see 1 heads was rolled right here. So they're going to go ahead and Leaf it out. So there's no X speed in Daifuku's deck, so Leaf really is that kind of, it's the only retreater, but right now that's actually good just because Mewtwo EX does take 2 energy to actually retreat, so it is nice. But hey, this is what makes the Gardevoir and Mewtwo EX just outlast everything. Boom! Just like that, the side drive goes down and brings out the next Celebi EX just in one fell swoop. And, you know, I really feel like Grapha at that point was just kind of, with that Sabrina card, you know, they were trying any kind of last punches they could pull. But yeah, that is going to be game 1 right now for Daifuku right here in the Speed Tour number 3. We'll try to get that game 2 for you coming up here very soon. Just want to ask everybody to please like, subscribe, comment. All that stuff really does help. Honestly, though, I'm just looking for a subscribe only if you like this sort of thing. I wouldn't want to force this on anybody. Bird's eye view of usually the finals or the top cut of some kind of tournaments. That's what we're doing. We're trying to see which decks are being played and obviously give you the play-by-play as it happens right here. So game number 2 is going to lead to Daifuku getting that Tails. And so Daifuku will be going second, but obviously gets to apply energy first. Always a thing that I think a lot of us from the comments and a lot of us on this channel. We do like that. We enjoy it. So let's see what happens, but it looks like this is going to be another talking point, is that there is an Executor EX in GraphaDW's deck, and so we can safely say it's the old Executor EX that came from Genetic Apex. It only takes 1 energy for the Tropical Swing, but we're actually looking at the new Execute, and so this is Execute with the Growth Spurt attack. It comes from Mythical Island, and so Growth Spurt is just, take a grass energy from the energy zone, attach it to this Pokemon, so it's only to the Execute. But it looks like now with Daifuku having the Ralts up in that top spot, the active spot we should say, and it looks like there was nobody on the bench right now because we can see these cards are glowing over that kind of blocker, and so it will be Mew EX. And so we do know, of course, there is at least a Mew EX ready and raring to go, I'm sure. And so right now, of course, Ralts, it's going to take 1 energy to retreat, and so I'm wondering, yep, they will go ahead, they'll place that on the Ralts. Your impasse is either to ram for 10 damage or retreat like this, and so Daifuku opting to retreat is likely the better option. You don't know what's going to happen. Is Executor EX going to be played, and then are you just going to lose your Ralts? So yeah, exactly. This is why we don't do that. And so this is something just for the word to the wise, I guess, as you can see what happens. You always have to kind of anticipate something that could happen, even if it doesn't. Better safe than sorry, right? But hey, Executor EX will still get that nice 40 with that Tropical Swing again. And so Tropical Swing, for everybody who doesn't remember or has never seen it, you flip a coin, and if heads, the attack does an additional 40 damage. So the potential to do 80 is very nice, but it would have taken out that Ralts for sure. Even a Kirlia as well, so it is all good. You want to protect that Ralts, you want to protect it because you're needing Gardevoir as soon as possible. You saw it in the last match, but essentially once you have Gardevoir and Mewtwo EX, you can get to a point where you can side drive every turn, because even with discarding the energy, you have to discard 2 Psychic Energy, you can still play it. Your natural turn order gets you 1, and then of course the Psy Shadow. But right now, all we're seeing is Executor EX on Grapha's side, and it does look like Grapha will play the Pokeball card. So clearly could put another basic down on the bench, and that's going to be another Execute. And hey, we got it 2 times right now. We got Celebi EX as well. And so again, kind of a decent amount of gambling with this deck. At least it's all about the coin tosses. And so you're just hoping for the heads, but no, it's going to be the tails. Oh my gosh. So would have been nice. It still wouldn't have been the Oko, of course, or we can't really call it an Oko, but it still wouldn't have been that KO right there. I think of it more as the general overall bit of luck or anti-luck that you're getting, lack of luck, we can call it. But right now, Daifuku, I think the longer that they can go in this game with just any of their Pokemon, the more devastating this can get. Now, the thing that can make that sound obvious is it's like, well, what about the other deck? Well, it's just the thing is that with the Mewtwo EX and the Gardevoir, it's an especially kind of deadly combo that, for instance, Serperior, it's going to take 3, it's like a stage 2 evolution, of course, so you're kind of needing those 3 cards to finally go through with it. It's a lot longer of a process, and then, of course, the energy generation, it's a little bit different, right? You're not, like, generating energy out of thin air like with Psy Shadow, with Gardevoir right now. But hey, it looks like they will go ahead and throw in Mewtwo EX, this awesome interactive art Mewtwo EX. Get that Psy Shadow going as well as the energy from your turn order. And hey, why not? Let's just get that Psychic Sphere, start getting some damage in on this Executor EX, because if you get 2 more, that's going to KO it. But you could also just be looking for that side drive, and that would finish the job, of course, on this Executor. But right now, Grapha is going to go ahead, and we're going to see another Celebi EX. It's going to be on the bench right now. Why not? Of course, you want to charge him up, but, like we were saying earlier, it's just that Mewtwo EX with Gardevoir combo. It's just too deadly, to let continue. And so, any turn that has gone by is a turn too many. That's what it's going to feel like, right? And so you really just wish you had a little bit more energy out here right now. You wish you had the Serperior. I mean, look at this. The lack of luck, this is going to make it take so much longer right now with those 40s instead of, obviously, we want to get 80, right? You would have been able to finish off Mewtwo EX with just 2 attacks if you could get the 80 each time on those Tropical Swings from Executor EX, but no, now this allows Mewtwo, of course, to continue on its reign, and so Side Drive is coming, because we see Gardevoir, Psy Shadow it up, put in energy there. They've already got 1 energy placed down for the turn, and so it is now that time to let her rip. Daifuku proving that this is still a deck that just is hard to reckon with. And so, my friends, that's going to be Executor EX out of there, which leaves 2 prize points in the favor of Daifuku. And now it's got to be making a sweat appear on the brow of Grapha right here, because what are you going to do, you know? So you got to have that Serperior as fast as possible. But again, we already mentioned the evolution stages, so it's going to take longer to get to that. So you can see that Grapha is just placing energy on their own turn to kind of get a little bit more chances of heads, you know, but it's like really without that jungle totem ability, it's just not as impactful. It's a little bit slower of a process. Time is of the essence. So here, let's see it. They're going to go ahead and flip these coins. Tails right off the bat, and so another Tails is in there. Just 1 heads. I mean, at least they're doing damage, but again, it's just Tails, Tails, Tails everywhere. Where are my fans of Miles Tails per hour, you guys? Tails the Fox. Oh my gosh, I'm still stuck on the Sonic 3 movie. I loved it, but okay, I'm gonna stop mentioning this so much. Looks like another side drive. Yep, there it goes. So that is now gonna land Daifuku into the winning spot right here with those 3 prize points, and that's victory for Daifuku for Speed Tour number 3. Give them both props, but again, that just lets you see that Mewtwo EX can still reign supreme with that God of War combination. So you guys, please check out the standings, and I also want to leave you with a Discord link so that you can join the Pocket Italia server. You gotta join their tournaments, man. I mean, speed tours are coming up pretty regularly, so please check that out. And when you see an end screen appear on screen, feel free to click that if you want to check out another one of these tournament videos. And thanks for viewing.